All right, Decentralized Pictures Talent Cast. I'm Matt. That is Miguel Faus, writer director of Calladita, the first European film funded through NFT sales and winner of the Andrews Bernard Award. Features on the Decentralized Pictures platform and created by acclaimed filmmaker Steven Soderbergh. Good to see you again, Miguel.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Last time we saw each other was at Sundance Film Festival at the Film 3 on the Mountain event. I know you've been busy since then. So give us an update. How are things going from your end? And for those, I'd like to think that you're kind of a celebrity in the Film 3 space, but for those people that may not be uh, uh, familiar with Film 3 or they just entered the space, give them a little background as of you as being a filmmaker.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. It's been great. Currently, today actually, we just started the color grading of Calladita, so it's a very exciting time. We're getting to the last stages of post production and seeing it all come together. So it's amazing. And I am Miguel. I'm a filmmaker from Barcelona, Spain. I've been making films all my life since I was like 16, and I made a few short films that did all right in festivals and got acquired for distribution, etc. And now Calladita is my first feature film. As you said, it's the first European movie to be funded by NFTs after a successful crowdfunding campaign where we managed to raise above $800,000 through NFT sales of basically still frames of my short film Calladita, on which this movie is based. And it's been an incredible ride. We shot in September in Spain, in the Costa Brava, and we're super excited to share the movie with everyone and hope that people will like it and to kind of jumpstart this film through revolution where we essentially have the same mission as decentralized pictures, which is using the blockchain to decentralize cinema, because cinema is still the most centralized art form in the world, where the decisions of which films get made and which don't are left to a handful of people and corporations. And we think the blockchain has the power to change that by empowering audiences themselves to be the ones who tell us what films they want to watch and so deserve to be made because they have an audience.
Excellent. Excellent. I appreciate that, Miguel. So let's back up just a little bit. So I know that you've been very successful in funding Calladita through NFT sales. So for someone that's new to NFTs and the power of NFTs through filmmaking, what would be the best way to get started in this space? Maybe they have a familiarity of, a general understanding of what NFTs are. Okay, they've been out to OpenSea and Rarible and they've seen NFTs and maybe even purchased a couple NFTs, but using it as a financing mechanism for filmmaking. How would an independent filmmaker get started with that?
Sure. Okay. So yeah, we'll assume the technical bits about getting set up with a wallet and all of that are out of the way, and they've managed to get there. I would say the first and foremost, the most important thing is to connect with the community of like-minded people who are already building and working passionately in this film free space. The best place to do that would be the NFT Film Squad. Actually, it's been rebranded recently as just T Squad, and you will find that on Twitter pretty easily. The founder is Jordan Bain, fellow filmmaker from New York, and so that's kind of the community where we all gather. Few times a week, there's Twitter Spaces, there's a Discord community, and people there will be so helpful in onboarding you, getting you up to speed, and yeah, there's many passionate filmmakers working in this space, and I think the most important thing is to connect with them, see where you can be helpful, where you can offer a helping hand, and connect with people on a human level, and there, take it from there. It's important to be mindful that NFTs and Web3 are still a very small niche, so it's important to cater to that niche. When we created the Calladita collection in order to fund the movie, we didn't have unrealistic expectations about who we would sell our NFTs to. What I mean is, like, we've seen even big celebrities from the legacy world, film world, and other worlds coming to the Web3 space, launch an NFT collection, expect that their audiences from social media and other audience, other places where they have an audience and they have a fame, would translate to NFT sales, and they haven't whatsoever. They've completely tanked, and they've barely managed to sell a single NFT. And that's because they weren't mindful of this. They didn't cater to the specific niche of very limited number of people who are in the NFT space and are buying NFTs. And so you want to cater to them, because selling someone their first NFT is incredibly difficult. Whereas convincing a person who's already collecting NFTs to buy yours is a lot easier.
Hmm. Okay, excellent, excellent advice. So, from my understanding, there's still ways to get involved with supporting Calladita through NFTs. So, if other independent filmmakers, other viewers still want to participate and support the project, how can they do that?
Yeah, that's very simple. They can just go to our website, calladita.film. Calladita is spelled like they can see here on my name tag. Calladita.film is our website. You connect your MetaMask wallet there, and you purchase an NFT for 0.18 ETH. This is around $300 now, and that will come with its unique frame from
Mm.
the original short film, and also a thank you in the credits. That's actually gonna expire soon, because we're gonna close the collection, and the credits also, because we have to close the film and ship it, and and finish it. And so, yeah, and you will also get to watch the film before anyone else. Well, at least before it hits the general public after the festival premiere. So it's an exciting way to get on board, and also to collect a historic NFT for cinema. There will never be another first European film to be funded by NFTs.
Awesome. All right. So for those that are watching, the clock is ticking if you want to be involved with Calladita. So get on it. All right. So let's shift gears to the Andrews Bernard Award. Again, created by acclaimed filmmaker Steven Soderbergh. And so this first award was awarded at Sundance Film Festival, Film 3 on the Mountain event. You and I were both there. Obviously, a very exciting moment, and the extended family of Calladita. So tell us about that. You know what that experience was like, and how it's going to advance the project.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I'm a huge fan of everything that Decentralized Pictures is doing. Since the beginning. I got to meet the team at Cannes Film Festival last May and was very impressed by their vision. And as I said earlier, the fact that their vision and their mission and mine are exactly the same. Our ways are a bit different, but we are fighting to decentralize cinema using the blockchain. And so that's what it's all about. And I'm very happy to be a part of this space together with them. And the Anders Bernard Award. So yeah, we submitted around the last stages of the round. We were missing a bit of funding for post production and P&A, and thought this was a wonderful opportunity um, to put the film out there, connect with a different crowd of people who are voting and participating in the DCP ecosystem, see how they responded to the film, and also, of course, get the support and approval from a very established filmmaker in Hollywood, like Steven Soderbergh, and also you know a other very established people that are in the orbit of Decentralized Pictures, because Decentralized Pictures isn't founded by some weirdo on the internet, but by Roman Coppola and his partners, who are very important people in the independent cinema movement in the US. And so it's been incredible that we got selected for the award. We're extremely grateful, and it's really a dream come true. The whole Calladita team is extremely grateful to DCP, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, uh, this all started like a crazy dream in my head that maybe I could fund a movie using NFTs. And here we are a year later receiving an award from an absolute hero of mine and an absolute god of independent cinema like Steven Soderbergh. So it feels like we've come full circle. And also, it's amazing to see Steven support this new wave of independent cinema that film 3 is, right? Independent cinema, I think, comes in waves, and every few years there is a wave. And I've been fortunate to have support also from early on from Jim Cummings and Ben Wisner, who are part of, I would say, the previous wave to mine. Jim made his first film, Thunder Road, which was hugely successful by crowdfunding it with on the internet with Kickstarter, and then made his second movie also in a very innovative way with crowd equity using WeFunder, and so has been a champion of independence forever, and even going to the lengths of self-distributing and doing his own international sales even. And we were selected in a bootcamp lab that they do in LA a couple of years ago for Calladita, and so it's amazing that the different waves of independent cinema are able to reach their hand back and support the coming one.
Incredible, incredible. What a journey. Okay, so since receiving the award and and dedicating these funds to their
Yeah.
finishing film funds to put your film across the finish line. So I know that you've recently spoke with Steven Soderbergh. So tell us about that conversation and kind of the next steps for the project.
Yeah, he was actually quite interesting because we were waiting. Steven is extremely busy, of course, and we were super appreciative of his time. And we waited for a few days to manage to get a call with him. And so w- on our end, we were kind of finished with the editing, and the way it works, you have to lock the editing in order to move on to the next phases of sound editing and color grading, and you can't do that until you're sure that the edit is locked, because otherwise it would be a mess if you reopened and made changes. So we were waiting for a couple of weeks for Steven, and that's all right, of course, and we're super grateful. And then got on the call, notepad ready, expecting many notes from the master. And he said, "No, it's gonna be very quick because I barely have any notes. The film is great, and I don't have much to tell you guys." Like, he had literally a couple very simple notes at the very beginning of the movie that we already were thinking about, so we agreed, and that was it. He was like, "Yeah, I mean, I've watched it." He said, "I watched it a couple times, and every time I thought, okay, maybe I'm gonna write down a note to tell them." 5 minutes later, I would realize that no, you can't change that because this comes back 5 minutes later, and then it's essential, so you can't really touch it. And so he felt that the whole thing is very tight and very rounded, and so didn't suggest any changes. So in a way, you might feel like it's disappointing because we didn't get to make it better thanks to Steven, but also, like, what are we gonna say? Like, we agree with him. We think that it's done, and he agrees that there's nothing we can do to make it better. So that's it. We're yeah, we're moving ahead.
Wow, what a compliment to have the master himself just come on. It's like, yeah, you did a great job
Yeah,
here.
definitely. Yeah. Amazing.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I know you just attended NFT Paris, and we've already talked about a big part of making this film was through NFT sales. So what were some of your takeaways from that event?
Wait, from which event? Sorry.
From NFT Paris.
Yeah, they invited me to speak there, and yeah, I have to say I'm grateful, and it's amazing that I got the chance to speak there about Calladita and about funding films with NFTs. It's been hard to get the legacy NFT venues and people and events to care about Film 3 and to even realize that we exist. Films take longer to make, so it's taken a bit longer for the film projects to appear into the Film 3, into the NFT space, and they kind of appeared already when the bull market was over, and so it's been a bit tough. Like, for example, example I'll give you is that OpenSea has like 10 categories of different kinds of NFTs that exist: art, photography, generative, PFPs. They still don't have film. Calladita to OpenSea is a photography project. And when
Right.
you apply
Right.
to speak at different events like NFT NYC, I think they might change. They might have changed it now, but before you applied to speak at NFT NYC and they asked you to select your category, and you couldn't say film. And so it's taken a while, but now I feel like they are already aware that we exist, and it's of course it's very exciting, for most NFT people to hear about a story like Calladita, because they're used to buying PFPs or a photo NFT or an art NFT. You buy it, you collect it, and that's it. But knowing that you can collect an NFT and then an actual movie gets made and you can go to the cinema and watch it, that's pretty incredible to most people. And yeah, I found that the audience was really excited about Calladita and about the prospect of a decentralized future for indie cinema, and super grateful for all the people that I met there, and the parties were great. You get to see all the fellow degens, which is also amazing. I went to a lot of meetups with fellow CryptoPunks or other communities where we all hang out on the internet, and getting to have a beer together and have a conversation in real life is amazing. For example, I got to spend some time with Snowfro, the creator of the iconic Squiggle, very renowned and you know amazing artist from the NFT space, the founder of Art Blocks, which is the premier generative art platform in the world. And he's also a Calladita collector, by the way. And it was amazing to get to spend time with him and chat and dream about what the future of NFT space looks like.
Excellent. Incredible. Incredible. All right. So last question. So I feel like you're an OG in the Film 3 movement. So what's next for Film 3?
I mean, I don't know. We've barely scratched the surface. Really, this is just getting started, and I can't wait for what's to come. I think it's gonna be super exciting, and I will say this: cinema needs this revolution. As I said at the beginning, it is still the most centralized art form in the world, just because it takes a ton of money to make it, right? So a painter doesn't need anyone's permission to buy a handful of oil paint and a brush and just paint. You can just do it at home and nobody has to greenlight you. Or same with a writer, a poet, a photographer. Most art forms don't need someone to greenlight them, and they don't need to convince a bunch of people to get behind it, etc. With cinema, that is the case, just because of the nature of cinema being expensive and industrial. So this has made it very centralized. And it's not only centralized, it's also inefficient. The system is very bad at picking which films get made and which don't. It's extremely inefficient. Many amazing films never get made, and many very mediocre films that nobody wants to watch get made every year. Tons of them. It's crazy. So if we can use the blockchain to decentralize that decision making and make it not only fairer but also more efficient, that will be amazing. And my hope personally, but again, this is kind of goes against the ethos, because it won't be me who decides it. It will be the masses, in a decentralized fashion, who decide which films get made and which don't. But my hope and my hunch is that cinema that is more passionate and comes from a real author, a real artist that is driven by passion to tell this story and needs to tell it, will find more ways to come to fruition than in the current centralized systems. Because time and time again, the legacy centralized platforms and corporations want us to believe that audiences are stupid, and that all they want to do is shove popcorn down their throats and watch superhero reboots that they've seen 100 times. And while that definitely has an audience, time and time again the numbers tell us that there is a huge audience as well for mature, author driven, intelligent, original cinema, right? For example, there are two movies recently that are kind of stylistically in the realm of Calladita, which are Parasite and Roma, which are both what you call in America foreign language movies, which means they're not in English. So supposedly they shouldn't be commercial at all, and they both did great. So they are both proof that there is an audience out there for these kind of movies, and that's what I hope from Film 3.
Beautifully stated, Miguel. Really appreciate that feedback, and I think that's the dream.
I think we got a
Having some
breath, no?
connection issues here. Sorry about that.
Then
All right. Well, Miguel, I really appreciate your time today. So some great insights and feedback on Film 3. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see more from you in the very near future. And best of luck with everything with Calladita and with the award. Congratulations again on receiving the award for Andrews Bernard. And I'm sure we'll connect again very soon. All right. I think we lost you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.